It is 8:03. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. I apologize. My internet at the house died right as I hit the start button, and I realized didn't start. And then I had to turn everything around, so I'm coming to you via cellular telephone connection this morning. What happened? I don't know. So anyway, I apologize if it's a little grainier. You'll survive. Good old-fashioned internet. Anyway, good morning. It is Coffee Talk. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. Let's raise our cups of coffee and enjoy the morning as we look live out over the coastline. Good morning, good morning. It is beautiful. The shot you're looking at, by the way, just illustrates how pretty Central Florida is at sunrise, right? First morning live Doppler radar, scanning around, nothing to see. Temperatures this morning, very comfortable. We're sitting in the mid and upper range of the 60s, and I will add that the temperatures come tonight into tomorrow morning will actually be cooler. And the one person that really picked up on that, there was somebody on Twitter that pointed it out. Yeah, so there's some fun things to track this morning, but it is absolutely lovely out. We look to the 12-hour forecast, and we are going to stay looking just lovely. 77 degrees, our 11 o'clock temperature, 81 degrees by 1 p.m., 85 degrees by 3 o'clock this afternoon. So it's going to be a fantastic forecast for us, but the temperatures, let's talk about things, okay? First off, today's looking great. Tonight's going to be a little cooler. Yeah, nice cool breeze, all the good things. All the good things. All right, a couple of things to take note about, okay? We have red flag warnings in effect across Central Florida because of gusty winds and because of low relative humidity. So keep that in mind. The atmosphere is dry, and while burn bans are not a thing except for Polk County right now, today's not a day to do any kind of burning. So let's just keep that in mind. And by the way, a red flag warning by definition is essentially the fact that atmosphere is just kind of perfect for fire development. We don't talk about this very often, but when we do, it is a concern, okay? Gusty winds, we kind of know about this. I was at the National Weather Service office yesterday, and they were very much watching this. They're the ones that issue this, by the way, just so that everybody knows, like television weather guy, I make my forecast, I make my presentation, right? But it is the National Weather Service office that is tasked with issuing watches and warnings and advisories. And so when I was there, they were looking at all the latest METAR data, watching for low relative humidity or dew point temperatures. And so sure enough, they had to go ahead and issue that, and for just cause. So be careful today. No burning, even though we don't have burn bans in effect. Today's not the day to do any kind of burning, okay? Let's just look at our humidity values on Futurecast, all right? So we're nice now, but like the temperatures and the dew points are going to really spread into the afternoon. Like relative humidity values in the 20% range is blistering. Like lips, yeah, that whole thing. So, for what it's worth, just keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's talk about today's high temperatures. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We talked about the day planner, but let's talk neighborhood by wrong graphic. Well, 82 to 86. Cool. Let's look at it on a map now. 82 to 86, right? 82 in Palm Coast, 85 today in Orlando, 86 degrees in Palm Bay. But tonight, are you ready? Are you ready for something? Take a look at tonight's temperatures. Listen. You're not going to have many more nights with readings like this. You're just not. So let's try to enjoy this, right? 57 tonight into tomorrow morning in Orlando, 59 in Sanford, 60 degrees in Daytona Beach, 57 in DeLand. Oh, excuse me, 53. Oh my God, I need more coffee. The average low temperature this time of year is 64. So, yeah, that's a nice low temperature. Right. So for what it's worth, let's just make sure we're all there. For what it's worth, let us enjoy this. It's going to be beautiful. Right? Chris says, yeah, that's a nice low temperature. I would agree with that, my friend. Now, trending over the next couple of days, if we look at the 7-day forecast, and again, understand that this is going to be tweaked here and there. The long-term kind of prognostication for rain has come down just a little bit come Monday, Tuesday, but there are hints that at least we're going to try to fall into that rainy season pattern looking ahead to this weekend and early next week. So for now, we've kind of backed off the rain chances a little bit, but I have a feeling those rain chances are going to start to sneak back up come Monday and Tuesday. So mid-80s today, 50s to wake up in the morning tomorrow morning. Yeah, Cheryl says would love to keep the windows open, but too many bears in the neighborhood. Death by bear is not worth keeping the windows open. So I would 100% agree with that decision. Let's not do that. Yeah. But there you go. Okay. So warming temperatures, Saturday, 90 degrees. Sunday may start to get into some storms. And again, next week, the models are trying to tease at the early onset of the rainy season. Now, what is the rainy season, right? We know very clearly the rainy season happens every summer. If you're new to town, you don't know. This is where we talk. Late May, around the 27th of May is usually when those cold fronts stop arriving. Now, obviously, we're still getting cold fronts, like temperatures in the 50s tonight. That doesn't just come out of nowhere. So we're still getting cold fronts. We're not there yet. But cold fronts stop arriving. We start to get those daily showers and thunder showers bubbling up. And the morning low temperatures are hanging in the upper 60s to about 70 degrees. So we're not there. But it does look like Mother Nature is at least trying to fit into that pattern. You know, look at next week. Morning low around 70. Storms on Sunday. I would be guessing that the Monday, Tuesday rain chances are going to start to go back up. If you look at when the rainy season has kicked in the last few years, it's been like mid to late May into early June. The earliest on record in Orlando would be the equivalent of Friday of this year. So we're not there. But, you know, it would be the equivalent of. So this week would be the earliest onset. And what'll probably, if I'm honest, what will probably happen is we'll start the rainy season type pattern, and then we get a late season weak front or something that kind of comes through and resets things. We usually kind of get a couple of these false starts. And so this, to me, is kind of false start number one, right? Into next week. So it's the season. It's the season. It's the season. Right? So that's where we're at. Now, let's look at the raw G, and I haven't looked at this yet. I've been in dad mode all morning. But here's a look. At the raw GFS, let's just see what the temperatures are doing. Yeah. Tell me that the computer models... Tell me summer's around the corner without telling me summer's around the corner, right? Like just look at these models. Now, the models are trying to show that front moving in on Sunday. That'll back off. I'm pretty sure. That'll back off. But, you know, look at the rest of the forecast stretch. Highs in the upper 80s and 90s. Morning lows. Yeah, this week we've got some excitingness. I could also tell you my data-driven properties are not perfect on this graphic. Need to do some tweaking. But yeah, so we've got some morning lows here or there. Maybe you know, that false start next week, and then we get a little front moving through. It looks like the 11th into the 12th, and then we kind of get back into that rainy season type pattern on the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, right? So yeah, we're finding our way. Little by little, we're finding our way. Chris says, glad those are models, not forecasts. I know, like 93, 94. We'll see, though. Like, stranger things have happened. We'll see. Go, Vanessa's Life. Have a good one. For sure, once the morning lows become 70s, that heat is surely on. It's true. It's true. Am I on location this morning? No, I'm in my back patio, enjoying. Listen, until the summer hits, I'm just going to relax out back. That's where I'm going to be. Now, remember though, next week we're taking Coffee Talk on the road. Gonna go. We're gonna go down to West Palm Beach, my home away from home, and we'll be down doing the Governor's Hurricane Conference. Yesterday, I was at the National Weather Service office in Melbourne. I was at the Emergency Management office there in Brevard County in Rockledge, and it's kind of fun. Like several people that I was chatting with yesterday are also going to be down in West Palm at the Governor's Hurricane Conference next week. So we'll be doing our thing there. Am I able to do an afternoon coffee talk? It depends. We'll have to kind of play that one by ear. But hey, you know, not too bad. Not too bad. So if there's a will, there's relatives. Oh, if there's a will, there's a way. That's right. That's right. So just do me this favor though. Like summer's not quite here yet. So let's just try to enjoy these lower humidity values. The muggy meter is downright pleasant, but Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it does kind of start to come up just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. All right. All right. Questions, comments, concerns. What have you, my friends? Let's see here. I live in Vieira Nice. Yeah, Michael, we were right through your area yesterday. Can't wait till you're down here. Karen, hello. Yeah, it'll be. I'm excited. I've got my plans for where I'm having dinner because the food is incredible down there. I've already got like and I already told Jeannie like I'm gonna bring you some oh my gosh, why am I drawing a blank? I'm gonna bring you some smoky pasta back from CR Chicks. Never been to West Palm. It's just unbelievable. Rosebud, wait, did you say the governor's going to be in Rockledge? No. I'm going to the Governor's Hurricane Conference, but I was in Rockledge yesterday. No, two totally different thoughts. Two totally different thoughts. Wind. Wind is going to be still gusty, and that's one of the reasons why we've got that red flag warning today. If we look at the wind futurecast, let me find it. All right, so these are gusts. Yeah, so, I mean, there's your gusts this afternoon. It's a hurricane graphic, which is why you see the wind levels there going up to 100 plus. But, like, there's your gusts today, right? 20 or so miles an hour. So it's going to be gusty. And I'm not showing you, like, the conventional futurecast because, like, it's beautiful out. Confirmed. Moving on, right? That's where we're at. Deb says, hurricane season, I'm worried. Well, first off, you don't need to worry. But, yes, hurricane season is right around the corner. We know this. 29 days, less than a month away. So just be preparing. Listen, I'm going to the Governor's Hurricane Conference, and I'm going to be there with your emergency managers from around Central Florida. You know, like, they're getting ready. Are you? You know, at the end of the day, that's kind of where we're at. We've issued our WESH 2 hurricane season forecast, so the work is there. The work is done. And by the way, you know, here we are in May. Now, I didn't do this yesterday. Maybe I should. All right, so let's do something kind of feisty. So I showed you yesterday this, the May monthly calendar. Okay, give me a few seconds. Let me move some things around here. I've got an idea. One thing that I didn't think to do yesterday that I should have. Stand by. Let's see. All right, so forecast models. So this, okay. All right, cool. All right, so this is what's called the CFS model. Let me just give me a few seconds to get this popped up here. Okay, So this is the CFS model, and I'm going to be pulling it right from Tropical Tidbits. All right. So what we're looking at here is the CFS model is a super like long range model. Okay. So let's just take a few seconds here and identify a couple of features. All right. So the first feature is going to be May, like the 13th through the 20th, we're looking to the Carolina coast. All right. So the 13th through the 20th, let's just kind of look and see if there's any indication of the Carolina coast, the 13th through the 20th. So we've got like some moisture there. That's the 10th through the 17th off the Carolina coast. All right. So we've got some moisture there, nothing crazy. We've also got some moisture down in the Gulf. All right. Beyond that, after that, you've got from about the 21st to the 25th, from the 21st to the 25th Gulf Coast. 21st to the 25th. All right. 21st to the 25th. You've kind of got some moisture bubbling in the Gulf and then working across Florida, it looks like. That's through the 24th. And then after that, you've got moisture off to the east of Florida. And that off to the east of Florida lines up with the duly noted Florida East Coast storm. So, again, no guarantees on any of this, but the CFS is kind of showing moisture where we kind of do think that it should be in those windows. So we'll see how it plays out at the end of the day. But, we've done our forecast. We've done our long-range work, and now it's up to you to follow that. Our long-range forecast indicates that Florida is going to be, at the very least, watching for tropical stuff this season. So if we know that that's the case, that should be able to help us stay weather aware and prepare accordingly, right? That's at least the way I'm approaching it. What's the wind going to be like in Daytona this weekend? Calmer, 5-10 miles an hour, maybe some higher gusts, but 5-10 miles an hour or so. Yeah. I was in Rockledge all day yesterday, but I live there. That's too funny. Yeah, Rosebud, I was in your neighborhood. I was just up the road at the bunker. Do you think with the El Nino shift we'll have a less active hurricane season? So that's a good question. I think, if I'm honest, and we've talked about this in our long-range forecasts, so it kind of just depends. For me, I think that we're going to start hurricane season pretty active. And that's why when we look at my hurricane forecast that I put out, and that's on the right column there, I'm, average is 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, and 3 major hurricanes. That's on the left column. Colorado State is going just slightly below average. I'm going at or just slightly above average because I think the beginning of the season is going to be busy, and then transitioning fully into El Nino, we will slow things down. But water temperatures are high, and we're kind of neutral right now. We're not quite into an El Nino pattern. So I do think the beginning of hurricane season will be an active one. So we'll have to watch and see how it plays out, right? That's the way it goes. Hurricane season, as Michael puts it, runs from June 1st through the end of November. Whenever I would always do hurricane talks in South Florida, I would always joke and say, South Florida has 2 seasons, hurricane season and not hurricane season. Deb says, thank you. I'm as ready as I can be. That's all we can ask. Yeah. That's all we can ask. Yesterday I was doing a story at my house. I'll show you. Yesterday we had, we were driving all over the place. Chief photojournalist Pete Dellis and I, and to get the shot, it's kind of cute. Pete, to get the shot at the door, he's crouching, Pete, getting the shot. But we're hard at work on our hurricane forecast, on our hurricane special for you. So, we're doing the work to try and make sure everybody knows the threats and tell stories and do anything we can to to help everybody get ready for hurricane season, because it is. It's right around the corner, whether you like it or not. You know, people can stick their head in the sand. That's fine. That's the way it's going to be. Let's see here. Going into listening mode. Very good, Trina. Do your thing. Michelle says Tropical Tidbits is great. Love Eli's site. So informative. It's great. Yeah. Well, and you know, the CFS is just one of the like long range models that we use. It's kind of neat. Late again, Bruce says. That's all right. You're retired, buddy. You work on your own timeline. Yeah. May 28th, first name storm. Is that, Taylor, is that your guess? Is that your guess? Be prepared at least. Exactly. That's exactly it. As long as you're prepared, you're prepared. I've not seen Gary's hurricane forecast. I mean, he and I have chatted about it, but I haven't seen it. So, yeah, I don't know. Cheryl says our Lake Canal water level is still since Ian. We're starting off with much higher levels than this year. Interesting. Are you really, Cheryl? Because mine is way down. Like, I could use a nice, good, heavy downpour to fill my pond up in the back here. Tia says, as a native, you're right. 2 seasons. Yeah, right? My best advice, spend a little time and get things ready before the season. And sit back, less panic, be prepared. It's true. Brian's asking, with how abnormally warm the water temperatures have been, does either the LRC or the BSR show any possibility of preseason tropical storm or hurricane forming in the Atlantic Gulf? Because my gut is telling me we're going to get smacked with something here within the next couple of weeks. You know, the pattern is favorable for stuff, right? We did look at the BSR yesterday. We haven't looked at it today. So, and if you're listening on the podcast, I'll do my best to explain what we're going to be looking at. If you're not familiar now, while I'm talking, I'm going to get it dialed up. The BSR stands for the Bering Sea Rule or the Bering Strait Rule. And the idea is that you take a look at what's going on in the North Pacific. And it's not perfect. You know, nothing in weather is perfect. But you got to use tools that you can kind of come up with, right? So there's the BSR, okay? And it's fun. Just like it's just like the LRC. There are people that are like, oh, it's fake. Okay, I've had a pretty great deal of success with it. Okay, but call it what you want. Maybe I just bought another tool. Maybe you don't like my tool. It's fine. I'm going to be using it in forecasting. But anyway, the BSR is another long-range forecasting technique that can be used to give us a glimpse ahead. So right off the bat, there's a nice storm system off the east coast of Florida and off the Carolinas. And that lines up to about Sunday of this week. So we'll have to watch and see how that plays out. The storm system coming towards South Florida on about May 9th. So next Tuesday, which has me kind of curious. Let's just do a couple things. Let's just check this. So Tuesday of next week, I'm going to just pull up the GFS and just kind of see what the GFS is saying. Give me a second. This way we can compare, right? We'll go with like that wide shot. That's a wide enough shot. So it had this weekend kind of a storm system off the East Coast. Let's check on that. I mean, there's a storm system. And then next week it had some piece of moisture coming into South Florida. I mean, the GFS has a storm system right there. It's a little further north than the BSR, but you saw that, right? Like right there, there's a little Gulf storm system. For what it's worth, there's a little Gulf storm system, and BSR had a little south, but it's there. And then that goes east. Old front. That's like the 12th, so that's next Friday-ish. Little trough there. Little frontal deal, like that. 16th of May. Little trough out east. Little storm system. Oh, wait. So we do that. Do that. All right, little storm system moving off the east coast there. Like, there's the Carolina low, I bet you. That's valid. Yeah, that's the 22nd. That's the 22nd of May. Little storm system off the east coast of the Carolinas, right? That's going to be too far out for any of the models to pick up on, but that's off the east coast of the Carolinas. And if we look at, all right, when's that date? That's let me just double check. I want to make sure I'm good here. But that's the 22nd of May. Okay, this is where you love to see it. So that's the 22nd of May, and if you look around May the 22nd, what do we have on the long range calendar? Right? So, kind of interesting. You've got the low coming off the Carolinas, then you've got that kind of Gulf moisture bubbling in that week there. BSR. There's that Gulf moisture. Yep. And then that Gulf moisture is kind of along an old frontal boundary. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. But anyway, that's our long range forecast. So I would say, the pattern definitely favors the end of the month of May. We start to see some things. Can you explain the difference between subtropical, extratropical, and tropical? Michael's asking. Yeah, at the end of the day, just think of it as kind of like an EV versus an internal combustion engine. It's how does it get its fuel? Tropical versus subtropical. It's feeding off of ocean and upper level energy, or just feeding off the ocean. It's that kind of thing. And then they have different characteristics, but it's just different types of storms. That's all. It's just different types of storms. Yeah. Let's see here. What does the bumps versus triangles mean on the frontal boundary? Oh, I'd have to go back and look. Let's see here. May 25th is my birthday. Yeah, so I'm not saying that there's no rain until the 13th. But what I am saying is those are going to be the dates that we're going to be watching the tropics. All right? Any other questions, comments, concerns? It looks like, there's hints. And that's kind of the thing is there are hints looking at the end of the month of May. There are hints that we may get some stuff to watch. Nothing too strong, thankfully, but there are hints. All right. 85 today. Nice breeze. Super dry atmosphere. 86 tomorrow. Getting near 90. And it looks like we'll get a little bit of a rainy season fake out next week. Storm system even moving in next week. And then kind of changing things around. We've got a couple of weak little fronts that are going to be wanting to come in these next couple of weeks. But enjoy each one because they're going to be fewer and fewer and fewer. Absolutely. Priscilla, working today? Yep, working today. I'm going to be heading into work in the not-so-distant future. Nancy says, today is my daughter Bianca's birthday. Happy birthday, Bianca. Happy birthday. Love it. Any rocket launches this week? Yes, I believe we actually have one late tonight. Falcon 9 off of the Cape, and we're going with a 95% chance of good weather. So, works for me. Early, though. 3:31 in the morning. Like, early. All right, people. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. Sorry for being a couple of minutes late. That CenturyLink internet. I have to now figure out what's going on with that. All right? Be the sunshine. See y'all later. Bye.